Economically, the right can often be seen using the new classical approach, which includes having a laissez-faire policy. This roughly translates to leave things alone and means less regulation to increase.
Why is everybody fucking losing their minds over this? What happened? Bro, you can't even watch 1 fucking second? Like, you literally can't watch like fucking 3 minutes of a video? What the fuck? Man, what's going on here? His dog shit. The framing is so bad. Rewind, he's so bad. What?
True. Those on the left were in support of the revolution, and those on the right supported the monarchy. This idea of the left supporting change and the right wanting to keep the status quo continues today and is key in some of their philosophy. The difference between left and right-wing ideology fundamentally comes down to the balance between individual liberty and government power. The left...
What? But he just said like French Revolution era leftism was monarchy, which is where the left would fall on individual liberty and the right would literally fall on more government power, unless he means the opposite of what he's saying.
Strive for an equal society and believe that the state should play a substantial role in people's lives.
Leftism is when the government does things, and the more government it straight up contradicts itself. If you're saying that French Revolution leftism is French Revolution leftism and right is defined by being in opposition to the monarch versus a revolution, then you literally are you can't follow that up by saying the difference between left and right-wing ideology is one wants more government and the other one wants more individual liberty.
The balance between individual liberty and government power. The left strive for an equal society and business. Technology fundamentally comes down to the balance between individual liberty and government power. The left strive for an equal society and believe that the state should play a substantial role in people's lives. This means increased regulation on business.
Yeah, like today I found out that anarchists, anarcho-communists, libertarian leftists are all constantly trying to advocate for a bigger state and a bigger government. That's all they're arguing. That, since they're on the left, that's what they're always saying.
Business and higher taxes on the rich. The left also tend to hold more progressive views, often opposing the death penalty while supporting same-sex marriage and women's right to abortion. The left have more lenient views on immigration and are usually the driving force behind any separation of church and state. Economically, the left often follow the Keynesian, or as it's sometimes called, the interventionist school of thought.
Yeah, that's where the left ends, brother. He's right. Bro, this is literally, like any introductory economics class is literally this, though. Like, this is precisely what they teach you in college. The furthest left you can go is Keynesian economics. It's like, it's completely from like a neoclassical economist perspective. So there's nothing beyond, Keynesian economics. I mean, that's what people like. This is it. This is the most leftist you can be.
In brief, this system would have the government intervene to avoid an economic recession. This means taxing highly during good or boom times and spending this money when the economy truly needs it. The level of government interference varies by how far left it is, with communists wanting complete control.
Oh my god, this is literally the more left-wing you are, the more you want the government. Like, he's actually... Oh wow, this is pretty good. This is a good video.
Control over all aspects of the economy, whereas the centre-left want only moderate intervention. The right believe that a level of social...
What?
Social inequality is inevitable, and think that the government should have a limited role in people's lives and business. This is, as the right believes, that preserving personal freedom should be the government...
Wait, he also said that, like, right wing have an apprehension towards immigration, in which case, like, Ronald Reagan literally is left wing then, I guess, because one, while he did advocate for deregulation in the form of neoliberal politics,
also, can you
he
explain
certainly was like
economics?
fucking pro-immigration. I mean, so I guess he's you never heard of a Reagan Democrat? You should watch J-Reg's 100 Axis. No, I don't want to watch J-Reg. When I think of individual liberty, I think of Ronald Reagan and his dementia diaper. This is great.
Its main goal and should not impose too many rules on people's lives. The right also tend to hold more traditional and religious attitudes than the left, often opposing things those on the left support, such as same-sex marriage and women's right to abortion. Economically, the right can often be seen using the new classical approach, which includes having a laissez-faire policy. This roughly translates to leave things alone and means less regulation to increase innovation and lower taxes to increase growth. In short, the right views government interference in business as a bad thing and thinks that the market prospers best when left to its own devices. Parties on the left include,
you know, with the exception of South American countries and what they do with their own government's business. Also, the tax cuts often just extend to the wealthiest. Hold on. Right.
Labour, the Greens, and the Democratic Party, while those on the right include the Republicans, Conservatives, and the UK Independence Party. There is also a centre ground where parties like the Liberal Democrats lie. These parties hold views from both the left and the right. This all being said, the use of left and right to describe modern political parties is not always accurate. There are actually many different political spectrums that can be used to judge how far left or right a party is. Parties often judge themselves based on other current political parties. In this regard, Labour is often seen to be on the left and Conservatives are often seen to be on the right. In actual fact, lots of Labour policy actually places it in the centre or right of the political spectrum. The same is true in America, where both the Democrats and Republicans are on the right of the spectrum in political terms, even if the Democrats are sometimes seen as having more left-wing values. The political spectrum is also not just two-dimensional. Within both the left and the right, there are people who hold authoritarian and libertarian views. Authoritarians wish for greater government interference,
At HasanAbi,
this is great.
Thank you for
and libertarians want the opposite.
The
As previously stated, the left tend to be authoritarian and the right tend to be libertarian, but this is not always the case. We are often taught the extremes of left-wing is communism and the extremes of right-wing is fascism. This is not strictly true, as the extreme authoritarian nature of fascist governments, combined with left-wing economic beliefs, make it hard to place on a political scale.
What? Wait. What?
While it is useful to have these labels in order to help the majority of people easily distinguish between different ideologies...
Did he just, like, unironically say that, because Nazis wanted to fucking, build the Autobahn or something? Despite the fact that they were, one, funded by big business, certainly, and were welcomed. Like, the big business welcomed them because they saw it as a check and a demonstration of power and a return to, like, the natural hierarchy against any sort of communist revolution that may take place in Germany. Those very same Nazis then, continued deregulation, but because they fucking built the Autobahn, they were actually socialist? Like, is that how that works? He debunked the idea that authoritarian governments are actually communist.
It is also important to remember that they are not always accurate, and looking at the party's policy for yourself is often the best way to choose who gets your vote, rather than following a label blindly.
Okay, I don't even know what that was. What? 1.2 million views? What the fuck? Welcome to the comments. Enjoy the show. Summary. Yes, another one. UK parties are trash. US parties are trash. Mario Party. But watching this, I understand the battles between Twitter and YouTube. Your fights are funny. You guys make my days better. Like, this stuff is cringe as fuck. And what I find to be even more cringe than this, though, like the neoliberal understanding of politics, the neoliberal politics understander has logged on. But nothing is as cringe when I fucking see, like, you know, that Sagar crystal ball style politics on the timeline. When people are like, the true division in American politics isn't between the left and the right. The real division in American politics is between, what is it? What do they say? Like, it's like corporate control versus populism on the right. Like, you know, populist and left and right wing populist. It's like, what are you saying? Like, what planet are you existing on, dude? It's true, you idiot. It's only true if you're a fucking brain-dead delusional moron who does not comprehend that the lumpen proles are not necessarily fucking going to be helpful in your revolution, okay? Like the petite bourgeois or the lumpen proles are not going to side with you historically, and they will not side with you anyway. There is no fucking, like...
This guy sounds like he just finished his introductory class on political science.
It's like the same people that think corporations are left-wing, dude. Says the rich Twitch streamer. Yeah, dude. I'm against you. I'm just fucking feeding you bullshit. Literal summarization of my econ class. This video obviously isn't 100% right, but the fact your chat is this hostile about it is quite telling. Yeah, I wonder why a community of leftists who completely fall outside of like normal political categorizations for the most part would get frustrated at a video that is just churning out the exact same kind of fucking agitprop that you learn in like any econ class. I wonder why they would be frustrated to a certain degree about how misinformed and obtuse this is.